Ahoy there, crew! This is your captain speaking, and today we're diving into the whimsical world of self-shipping. For the uninitiated, self-shipping is the act of creating some sort of relationship between yourself or a self-insert and an already existing fictional character. There's actually also another reason I decided to make this video. About a month ago, my friend Krew made a video about self-shipping. In the video, he challenged others to make some ship art, and I was one of the lucky few. This topic is actually pretty close to my heart. I've been making self-inserts and ships ever since I was able to comprehend any media I consumed. I've not often physically designed or even shared like 99.9% of them, so this feels a little embarrassing, but today I'll be unveiling some of mine. It gives me a great excuse to make some ship art for Valentine's Day. I started us off easy with a more platonic and familial ship. Our victim for this one is Luffy from One Piece. As for the self-insert, her name is Marley. She's a half-human, half-fishman. There weren't really other fishmen in the area she grew up in, so a lot of people didn't take too kindly to her. She even started to hide her fishman traits with gloves and hats and other accessories, which she continued doing into adulthood. Luffy, being the lovable idiot he is, doesn't really care what she is. They grew up together and were each other's very first friends. When asked about their relationship, they tell everyone that they are siblings. She definitely does a good job of being the older sibling, even though she's only a few years older. She does her best to look out for him while still giving him the freedom to mess around, even if it sometimes almost gets him or both of them killed. She will defend him fiercely in these situations, but when a certain someone special close to them dies, she does become a bit more overprotective. She refuses to leave his side and will be there to see him become king of the pirates, even when there is another crew that pulls at her heartstrings. Before we move on to them though, let's talk a bit about the actual artwork I drew here. I figured it would be cute to turn it into a picture that they took together. Maybe it was even right before Marley left the village to set sail on her own. Came out really nice and simple. They look really cute. It worked as a nice warm-up for me since I haven't drawn in quite a while. Now we can talk a bit about the other crew. It has a lot to do with the other self-ship I'll be drawing now. It is very much a romantic one. For this piece, Marley is having a sweet moment with Trafalgar Law. This is so embarrassing. I feel like I'm revealing my deepest, darkest secrets. But let's continue. Marley set off into the world with a small boat that definitely wouldn't last the entire journey. Unfortunately, it gave out sooner than expected, stranding her on a very small and uninhabited island. Technically, she could try to swim to another island. Fishmen are great swimmers and can breathe underwater. Being only half fishman means she only has some of these traits. She is both a good swimmer and can breathe underwater, but she definitely doesn't have as much stamina as a normal fishman. Luckily, the Heart Pirates, Law's crew, came in to save the day. Now, I don't think Law would help Marley out of the goodness of his heart, but I do think he would accept the deal. Marley would propose this. She gives them her special compass in exchange for traveling with them until she could reunite with Luffy at the middle of the Grand Line. This is something she promised Luffy before she left their hometown. Okay, without getting too much into One Piece geography, they need a special compass to navigate the Grand Line, which is the part of the ocean where most of the story takes place. We'll just assume Law and his crew made their way to the first island based on pure luck before finding Marley, who had just what they need. I mean, who could refuse that offer? And of course, throughout their journey, they would develop some feelings for each other. I imagine Law would just want to continue as normal, and Marley would be the one to confess. It is sort of a doomed romance though, since she definitely chooses to stay with Luffy once they meet up. That's just about all I'm comfortable sharing right now, so let's talk a bit about the actual artwork. I found this wonderful pose reference by Gonzai on Pinterest. I'll link their account in the description. This pose was just perfect for these two, and it was a great way to show off Marley's webbed fingers. It's a detail I knew I wanted her to have right from the start. On the technical side, I did have some trouble with this drawing. I am not good at drawing side profiles. For some reason, Law came out great, while Marley was and still is lacking. I even overlaid the line art for Law on top of her to try and compare and somehow fix it. I think it's something to do with her feature placement or forehead, but I'm not sure. But since this piece is supposed to be more romantic, I tried something a bit different. I made the liner the shade of pink and even added a light pink layer over everything. It gives them a nice and dreamy glow. So I just want to mention that I didn't draw Lowell's silly mushroom hat. I was going to, but then I thought, you know what, I can draw him however I want, and so I did. I think it came out much better than if I would have. Even without his hat, I think he looks great, maybe even better than I would have drawn him otherwise. This video was very fulfilling to make. I haven't really been feeling like drawing lately, hence the lack of videos. But once I started, I got very hyped up. I'm very happy I decided to try and draw even though I wasn't feeling like it. The piece is really nice, even if Marley still looks a bit weird. Lol looks amazing, and that's good enough for me. But that's all for today, crew. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you again for our next voyage. Bye bye!